And last but not least is discussion regarding the CIO position. John?
Okay, it's been discussed with the board on a number of occasions in October during budget discussions. Also in February, I presented to the board a proposal with the reasoning behind hiring a CIO position. We had salary board in March, I believe it was March 13th. It was scheduled a week or two earlier to give everybody on salary board ample time to review the information. That salary board was postponed for a week or so. And at that salary board, the board of commissioners established a position. There was an extensive search using a firm to solicit candidates. Tiffany can speak to that if you need any information on that. They gave us a short list. There was a team of county managers that interviewed the individual that were proposing for the position, and also the board of commissioners interviewed the person as the final round and concurred with the committee's recommendation. We're proposing to hire Sheen Kreger to start employment as of Sheen. Yeah, Sean. Yeah, Sean. As of June 11th. He is coming in at the rate of $108,000 plus DL pay of $1,000 for a total compensation of $109,000. There is ample funds in contingency fund to cover this position for the balance of the year. And Mr. Kreger will also be based on a performance review system. We're doing this with managers coming in, and possibly at the review of 6 and 12 months, he may be entitled to additional compensation based on the work plan we put together and whether or not he meets his goals and objectives. So I'm proposing to the board to hire Mr. Kreger. I believe you all met him. And I believe he is a very, very good candidate for the position, and I'm proposing to hire Mr. Kreger.
Mr. Charter, what was the range that we established for this position?
I don't have it with me.
I have to go to the management
yeah.
scale. It's within the range. I believe it's right at mid somewhere at the not quite at the midpoint. It's below the midpoint.
Yeah.
That was my impression.
Yeah, it's not at the upper end of the range. He is coming in at a reasonable rate based on market study for a position of this type, the complexity, the size of the county, and so forth. This is within the range that we found in other CIOs and other counties are making.
Thank you.
John covered the history here about how we've got to this point and why and so on. And I think it's worthy to have many discussions to review just a little bit more detail. County spends a lot of money for technology, and that technology has saved us a lot of money over the years. And I think that the county has grown. This is certainly obvious, but it could have grown a lot more had we not been able to move into the technology. I know things that I do personally that as a commissioner 17 years ago, it would have taken additional staff to do. Today, you're able to do more because now we each have one of these things. And of course, somebody has to watch all that. But technology has been the key to, in my opinion, has been key to saving dollars and maximizing efficiency. That said, in order to get to the next level, this was covered by all of us back those months ago. We need someone with the expertise. And the biggest question at that time, when we agreed to move forward, the Commissioner Ziobrowski, tell me if I'm recalling this incorrectly, was could we find someone with the qualifications that would be required for this position? I wasn't sure they would be out there. And I'm very satisfied that the individual that has been presented has those qualifications, has the background, and has tackled bigger tasks than what we are. And I think we'll be able to get us to that next level and in the long run, save us more money than what we may be spending when we need to get outside expertise and so on. Commissioner, I don't know if you want to have any more to say about that, but that's my recollection.
No, I agree with you both.
Excuse me, can I ask why I wasn't included in the fund as a member of salary board? I didn't know any information on this individual till I got the salary board action on Monday. I had to request information on it. All I got at that time was his resume. I still asked for other information, but due to the lack of time and people's schedules, it wasn't able to be provided before this morning. I just thought that we had an understanding earlier when we talked about this, that we would be more open about this, and I think I'm not saying that there's not a need for this position. I'm not saying that it's not a reasonable amount of pay. I'm just saying I take issue with having to come and make a decision and not being given the information that I feel I need in order to make the decision.
Mr. Chairman, may I address that?
Sure.
Salary board sets the number of positions, the rate of pay. Salary board does not have. We're holding this session for disclosure because we had some questions on the rate of pay and so forth. This is an action that we're taking, but it's not required by code that salary board does not have. It's much like an elected official. When they hire someone, not unless it's out of the box, they never come to salary board. This isn't out of the box. This is within the market study and everything. So there is really, technically by the code, there is no need to present this to salary board. However, the board felt to be transparent, be sure that everybody is aware of what the rate of pay is, who we're hiring and so forth. We're having this session of salary board, and you're going to take action on it. So when we're hiring a court employee, county administration is not involved in it. When an elected official hires an employee, county administration isn't involved in it. And I'm not being discourteous or anything to Carol, but this is a county employee, purely the prerogative of the board of commissioners to make the selection. This is a session we're having, and I'm repeating myself, to provide information on who's being hired, what the rate of pay is, and to go over any explanation again to why we need a position and so forth. And this is it, isn't to be anything other than factual. When we hire these positions, it consists of county management teams. We did have Bill Vandrew, who was elected official, on the committee. We had court representation on the committee, and then we had county staff on the committee. So we believe we had a fair representation across the board of who was sitting on the committee. I shouldn't have mentioned names, but anyways. A fair representation, so we would have input from all the different entities that would be working with this person, and that's the process we use.
It may not be a part of salary board, it may not be within the code, but we did have considerable discussion at an earlier salary board meeting on this topic, and I was told that I would be included in future conversations. This position is going to have an impact on my office. Although it may not be policy, it may not be law, it would have been good communication, and it didn't happen.
Madam Controller, in 5 years I've been on the board, 4.5, you as a member of prison board have never showed up. You have never made yourself available for anything, nor am I aware of your request to be involved personally in this decision. Your practice seems to be, when we get to this point, you like to bitch and moan about whatever we do just to make waves and go talk to Jim Hook. If you had wanted to be involved with this, why didn't you step up and do something about it?
I have asked, and let me clarify the prison board situation. Prison board was set for the first Thursday of every month. The Then it was changed to the second Thursday so Warden Wetzel could attend his parole meetings in Harrisburg. I had and for years had a prior conflict with the second Thursday of every month that I am also in Harrisburg for SACO, for the Pennsylvania State Association of Elected County Officials, which sets and meets with legislators on legislation that affects local government. So I have a conflict. I can't be at 2 places. Nobody asked me whether I could make that meeting change on the second Thursday of each month, and that's why I am not at.
Mr. Wetzel's been gone for over a year. Have you ever requested a change in that meeting date? On top of that, other people send surrogates if they can't be there.
Thursday is our big bill day. We do bills. We do not have the staff that we can let go for that day.
You can make all the excuses you want, but when you make these claims that you haven't been consulted, it's just a bunch of hooey.
Okay, any further discussion on the proposed action? Is there a motion to approve the action as presented?
I move that we approve the action requested of hiring the CIO.
Second.
Sean Greger.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any abstentions? Jim, that's 3 in favor, 1 opposed. Okay, are there any other actions for salary board's consideration today?
No.
Hearing none, salary board's adjourned, and the board of commissioners will consider the 2 job descriptions to establish the lead accounts payable specialist
That case management specialist.
and the debt. Is there a motion to approve those 2 job descriptions?
I move we approve the 2 job descriptions as presented.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 And for the record, I do not go to the paper.
Okay, there being no other business for the board today, we'll entertain questions from the press. Morning, Jim.